I'm going to teach you the only serve you ever need in pickleball. It's the serve that the pros do, and I'll teach you exactly how they do that. However, I'm going to teach you in this video 6 serves because we have a massive advantages over 50s players that the pros do not have. Because I'm going to teach you in this 6 serves that are going to win you free points that I use all of the time, and if you're not using them, you're not winning free points on your serves. The pros cannot use these serves because they're young, they're fit, and they are pros. We, however, have a massive advantage over the pros. So if you're not using these, you're missing out. I'm going to teach you exactly how to do them, and most importantly, when and why. Stay with me. Okay, so I'm going to take you through these serves. I'm going to show you how to do them. But stay with me because it's really important once you learn these is when you should be using them. So after I teach this, I'm then going to teach you the strategies. When is the perfect time to use each and every serve? Like I say to you, the first serve, the topspin serve, which is what the pros use, I'll teach you how they do that. And you could use that simply at 100% of the time. However, unlike the pros, we can use this as over 50s players to win so many free points where they can't. I'll teach you how to win these free points after I teach you how to do these serves. So stay with me to the end so that you learn everything, and it's going to be a massive advantage for you. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to do a topspin serve. Now, your grip is the first thing we need to look at. So you want to be a continental grip. Now, if for some reason you're using grip further around for your forehand, stick with your forehand grip. The only thing I don't want you to do is if you serve and hit your forehands like this, we're changing that today, all right? No more bunting your serves, no more bunting your forehand. We're going to take this for a world of difference for just by changing your grip, okay? Because you've probably got a grip, if you were to pick it up like that, it's like that. And this is why you've got a stiff wrist. Let's stop that. Time to change that right now. So continental grip, hold the paddle like this, and you want to grab it like this. Now you want to grab it in your fingers like this, not gripping it with your palm in a deft grip. So hold it like that, shake hands with it, there you are. There is your continental grip. That is going to serve you beautifully for your forehand now and your topspin serve. Right, here's what we want to do. First thing, we want to get our feet right. Now you want to have a nice, stable, powerful base, okay? Because just like if I was going to ask you to throw a stone, you're not going to throw a stone a long way with your feet close together, are you? No, you need to get back so that you can really transfer your weight from the back foot to your front foot to throw a stone. Serving is exactly the same. So, nice wide base. Now, foot placement. There are several ways to do it, but I'm going to keep it simple for you. So, your back foot parallel with the baseline, your front foot around about 45 degrees, okay? We're not doing yoga here, we're gonna go 45 degrees, and if we wanna get really technical, so if you put a stick between your toes of your shoes, it would line up across diagonally to where you're gonna serve it, because that lines up your shoulders, okay? But of course there are other players that have more open stances, but we're not gonna go there just at the moment, we're gonna keep it simple. So, wide base, okay? Wide side, that's gonna give you your power from your base. And what we're going to do from there, we're going to get the ball. So if you can imagine there, because we're going to transfer our weight from our back foot to our front foot to give us effortless power. The other thing you want to do is have the ball out. So when you hit the ball, you want to kind of be hitting it out in front of you. What you want to avoid is this guy. We don't want to be doing that anymore, right? But even if you're hitting more of a forehand like this, you don't want to have it in close to you. You want to get out so you can hit real power. Again, you're generating momentum as you go out like that. So think of it having it out here and hit it out like that. Right, now the other thing we're going to do with momentum, as I say, start on your back foot, hit it out and finish on your front foot. And what I want you to do is have your backswing up like that. Now, if you've got a bad shoulder or you can't get into this position, it doesn't matter. Like if you have to come around more like this or you're up higher like this goes with your forehand as well. Just make sure that your finish point is the same area. So if it's in the shoulder, if it's more flat, this will give you consistency not only with your serve, but also with your forehand, okay? So whenever you're doing your forehand or your serve, finish point, same. If it's the point of your shoulder, if it's because of your bad shoulder, you have to go lower, you can't reach it up like that. Either way, finish it in the same spot. That's going to give you incredible consistency each time. So, wide base, pointing in the direction, that's gonna get me right, and I'm gonna hit it out in front and finish up like that. So recap, wide stance, pointing this way, and we're going to hit it and finish there. Now, as you hit, you're going to come and you're going to brush up the back of the ball to create topspin. So as we come up, we're going to brush up that ball. So if you were to start up here and you're going to go and have a high finish, that's going to naturally give you topspin as you hit it out in front. And it's going to roll end over end. And that's exactly what, because the topspin is going to go, we're going to hit it about a foot, foot and a half over the net. So we're going to clear the net nicely, but you're going to allow it to go deeper into court. And that's going to give you a beautiful deep topspin, because the topspin is going to make it dip down into the court. Because if you hit it like, for example, the underspin, that will make it go flying off into the back fence. So this is going to make it dip down and bounce up. So wide stance, here we go, hit it out in front, and it's all you have to do. Now, if you go, well, Mark, you know, I'd really like to take it to a whole new level. Let's take it to a whole new level. Okay, so if you want to say, you know, I really want to generate more power. I'm using this, I'm starting in the back foot. Right, let's generate more power. Let's say you want to really give it a rip, okay? Many of you go, do you know what? I'm just happy to get it deep because I'm going to win so many free points in games and matches just by getting it in, not hitting faults like I used to. Good. But if you're sitting there going, you know what? I'd like to give it a rip. Okay, here's what you can do. Many of the pros do this as well. So same thing, but what you're going to do, we're going to get more coil in our body, or recoil, as we wind up, and we're going to hit it out there, and we're going to get our foot to go into the court. You can do this also with your forehand as well. So this is going to generate more power and momentum, and it's going to get you faster into the kitchen line because you're already moving forwards. So this one here, we're onto our front foot like that. This one, what we're doing, same thing, except we're going to really go in like that. So that'll look like this. Okay, so if you're one of those people who go, do you know what? I'm in for a penny, in for a pound. I want to try something even more, Mark. Okay, well, let's go for a kick serve. Exactly the same thing, except now we're going to get knees bending, because remember, we're going to brush up the back of the ball, and if we want to get more topspin to give it a kick serve, which is going to really drop it down and really kick it up, otherwise known as a kick serve, is we got to generate more topspin. So we want to go really get up on the back of that ball. So an easy way to do that is to get down and then come up as we power off through our legs and generate more help with that topspin brushing up the ball. And that'll look simply like this. So you're going to, the other one was just like this. Now we're going to get our legs involved as well. So we're going to go down, and you'll see that kick up as it hits the bounce, bang, and it kicks up like that. So there is your kick serve. So I'll show you that again. Okay, so we're going to go down. So instead of just going through like that, we're going to get down and then power up to use our legs to go up the back of that ball. So here we go. And that's just gone bounce and over the fence with it kicking up and over. All right, so now let's have a look at the lob serve. Same thing, we're hitting topspin on the back of the ball, but what we're going to do now, we're going to sort of lean back, and so rather than, so you can work this out, right? So if we're going to hit it more flat through, but still hitting back the ball, it's going to be more flat. The more I come brushing up it, it's going to give more topspin and give it more height. So same thing, if I want to stay back on my, because this is not so much power, we want to get it to lob with topspin, so it really gives our opposition potentially lots of problems. As they're trying to hit it up high, it might be weaker, and people are weaker up high like this. So we're going to come back and we're going to lean back a little bit, and then exactly the same thing, except we'll lean back a little bit, and I'm actually staying on my back foot here because we're not trying to generate power, so I can stay on my back foot and just like that. Okay, could you go onto your front foot? Yeah, you could do it onto your front foot as well, but power is not the objective, so you're not doing that. Now, if you're not very strong, yes, and you need more, you go onto your front foot, but just remember you're generating more height with that, and that'll give you your lob serve. All right, so how do we do the screwball serve? So the screwball, if I come to you, I'm going to have it more at my left side, and I'm going to come around with as loose a wrist as I can possibly do, and come around from right hip to left hip. So we're doing this motion. So if I'm serving towards you, I'm going to come in and I'm going to spin it like this to get spin on the side of the ball as we come around to get it spinning that way, okay? Now this is a great serve to hit from this side and get the spinning out wide like that. So now, remember, if you're going to do this, you don't want to just make him say like, oh, he's going to do one of those corkscrew, screwball, whatever he calls them serves. No, of course you want to be a little bit, disguise it a little bit. So as if you're going to do just a normal serve, but then you'll just, instead of just going straight through, you'll come in and you'll come around the side of it, okay? So this, now also another little tip here, if I was going to be on this side, I'll just come across this side. So let's say I want to hit this wide out to them. Normally I'm hitting here. Without them noticing, I might take a step across more, so that'll give me a better angle to come and get it wide out there as well. So just make sure that they're not sort of taking much notice. And again, if you see them come more center, so we can do that. So let's say if you're normally here, just come back a step and they might not see it. If you can get away even further, brilliant. And then just boom, off it goes. So the other serve we're going to talk about is the opposite to the screwball. We're going to come around the other side. So that came around the left side of the ball, this is going to come around the other side. Same deal, so what we're going to do here is we come around, and again I'm trying to keep my wrist as loose as possible, nice and loose with the arm, and come around. So I'll start it out here, and I'll come around the outside of the ball. Okay, so you want to get that to spin it around. So this is great if you want to hit it out wide across there, put them out wide, because the spin's going to help it spin away from them on their forehand side. So if you see them sitting in the center, they're not covering this outside a little bit, they're trying to cover up their backhand, so they're trying to avoid their backhand, so they're a bit more like into here, so they're returning here, they're like this, right? So they don't want their backhand, they're trying to keep their forehand. So this is the perfect time to go and do this serve. So same thing, well, not the same thing as a screwball, it's the opposite side, but nice to do. We just come out and round it goes, okay? So to show you the camera, we're gonna come round like that. I try and keep my wrist and just come around the outside of the ball, okay? Just like this. And round it goes. You can't see this in the camera, but it is ripping off, spinning, fizzing. That's what you want. Here's another serve we can use with our technique that we use for topspin. Now this is one of my favorites. This serve here, I can catch people off guard all the time. Now, here's what you do. What you want to try and do is, if you can without them noticing, now remember our screwball over here, as I said, if we get a screwball, if I can sneak out a little wider without them noticing, so again, remember, if I'm normally serving here, if I can take a step out with them without them really noticing, I'll do that screwball and give myself a much better angle. This is the opposite. So we're trying, like the screwball went into that little corner, I'm going to try and do a little top spin and get that and sneak that into this front corner onto the right-hand side here. Well, the left-hand side, I guess. Right hand for them. But you know what I mean. So top spin, same thing, but we are really trying now for accuracy. So not a high percentage serve, but when it works, so you're not going to do this at 10-10. You're going to do this when you've got some points, and I'll talk about more strategy in a moment. But here's what you want to do. The same top spin serve, but what I want to try and do, if I can, is get out wide as I can without them noticing, increase my angles, increase my chances of getting this in. So, because of course, if I'm back here, it's going to be harder to get that angle. Come out a little bit without them noticing and catch them off guard. If someone's, say, a little bit slower on the court, or even if they're fast, but they're trying to, they're sneaking across here because they want to try and hit their forehand. If you see them not out here and you see them more in here, then you're going to go for that corner there and really catch them off guard. So what do? It's your top spin, take the pace off, and really, as I say, it's about placement in this one. Okay, so now that you know how to do them, it is vital that you know when and why to do these serves. So now, first and foremost, if you're just having fun with your friends, this is a whole different ballgame. You have fun with rec play, open play, that sort of thing. Have at it. Go and practice these and then go and have a great time doing your screwballs and that sort of thing, because it doesn't really matter. However, when we start talking about games that you must win, tournaments, your round robins, these are things where you really want to win, this is when we start to decrease our risks. So as I say, open play, rec play is a completely different thing because it doesn't matter, you're just playing with friends. But when you want to win and there's pressure on, that's when you're going to default all the time to your top spin serve, which is a serve that the pros use, because you want to get it in, and at the most basic level, you want to get it in and get it deep. So if you're a beginner or intermediate player and you're watching this, all I want you to focus on is to make sure that you have a consistent serve. Now the pros get their serves in 99% of the time. Their returns are 97%. So they are, and if you ever watch it on YouTube, you see the pros virtually never miss their serve. That's what you want to be as well. You want to virtually never give away a free point by hitting your serve out. So that is your main focus as your start point. Get a topspin serve that you can hit in 9 out of 10 times minimum, right? Hit it deep. Topspin serve, default, you go to and hit it deep. And that will win you so many points alone by hitting a deep topspin serve. Right, once you can do that, then you'll advance to positioning it on the court. Right, so most players, 99% of players are weaker on their backhand. So then you start focusing on their backhand, right? That's your next move. Once you're consistent with your topspin serve, then your next move is to hit towards their backhand. Because then once again, you're going to win even more free points because they'll hit it into the net, they'll hit it out, or they just simply pop it up. Those are your free points. You can just target their backhand, right? That is your next. Once you've got a consistent topspin serve, then start targeting that. Right, now the other things you can do just with that topspin serve, hitting it deep, is start thinking now, they might be hiding their backhand. So you can, now, if you look at me doing those topspin serves, I am never going for the lines. Once again, decrease your risk. So you'll see I hit it deep, but I'll hit towards the line, within a foot, at least within a foot, but I still hit their backhand. I hit one towards them, right at their body, and I hit one out wide. So if you see that person trying to hide from their backhand, so they're coming more towards that center line on that right-hand side of the court, if they're trying to get away from hitting their backhand because they have a really weak backhand, that's when you hit it out wide. Likewise, if you see them right up by the baseline, you see players that are really up close to their baseline, maybe they're not very fast, that's when you hit it deep right at them, so they have to kind of half volley their return. So you start looking at patterns. Where are they? Again, once you've got a consistent topspin, so remember, just deep topspin serve is going to do you absolutely fantastically well. I'm talking about nuances now. Positioning. Are they hiding their backhand? Do they stand close to the center line? Do they, to get away from hitting their backhand? Or are they out wide so you can hit it straight down the center? All of these things you can start looking at, but don't go for the lines. You'll see I hit them in that back third of the court, whether it's wide, whether it's towards them, whether it's a line. Don't go for the lines. So you do not want to give away free points on your serve. Right, so once you've got that, then we can start looking at just modifying, as I say, more power, like I showed you, step through. A more powerful topspin serve, as they're going to give your opposition even more pressure and give you more free points. So that's your next move. So you've got the deep topspin serve, then you start placing it and more power. And that, again, that will fix 95% plus of your players and put them under massive pressure, because remember, beginners and recreational players, intermediate players, most of the points are finished or set up, have lost. Most of the points have lost within the serve, the return, or the third shot. What does that mean? It means they've either made the mistake on the serve, the return, or the third shot, or at the very minimum had hit such a poor return that have set it up to lose the point, meaning a short return, or the third shot was a pop-up or is into the net. So the vast majority are within the serve, the return, or the third shot of these points being either lost outright or lost meaning that it was just a really poor shot and you can hit it away, right? So really remember that. So your serve is vital that you get them deep, and then, as I say, placement and power. Right, then, as I say, look for the person that's right up at the baseline so you can hit it deep right at them. So they're going to half volley, those sorts of things. Now we've got the kick serve. So the kick serve we can start using, I'll use this if someone's, again, right up close to that baseline. Perfect time to hit a kick serve, because it's going to come down and start and hit them, not hit them, but come at them really quickly or up high. Again, that person that has that poor backhand or just not very good at their shots up high, start hitting in that kick serve. Now, these serves I'm talking about, the kick, the lob, the screwball, are not ones you're going to hit when it's really close. you're going for your default serve so that you do not make an error. You do not want to play these. But if you've got a bit of a buffer, let's say you're 8-4 up, these sorts of things, these are the times that you can really go for these slightly more higher risk serves, okay? So kick serve, fantastic to give people problems, especially if they're not good up high and if they're close to the baseline, another perfect time for that as well. Your lob serve, for the same reasons, exactly the same problem. You can just hit a lob serve. So many players are not good when it's up high. Do that again to your advantage. Okay, then we got the screwball. Screwball is perfect if you see someone that's once again really trying to protect their, well, if they're in the center there and they're just not used to it or they're slow, when you can hit that out wide off to the left there, that's a perfect time. If they're trying to protect, say, a part of the court that they don't want to hit on in the return, then watch for them. And again, you don't want to do these too often, but every now and again, this will give you a free point. The same with the ones out wide to the opposite side, your banana and the little cross-court short one, same deal. If they're trying to protect, they're sitting close to that center line, bang, right out to there. Or again, if they're not very fast on their feet, not very agile, then once again, you can do these to your advantage, hit these to your advantage. So these are the things you need to look at. Where are they on the court? Again, your screwball, these short ones, these sorts of serves are great if someone stands way back. Then I like to do the little screwball one because it will drop down very quickly. So you can do the screwball long, and so the long one right back into the back corner and their backhand will give them a whole world of problems. But also you can do the same serve and hit it short. And of course, if they're standing way back, there's no chance that they're going to get that serve back in, okay? So think, long way back, hit it short with the screwball. If they have a weak backhand, that screwball, hitting it deep into the court is going to give them a world of trouble as well. So look at these patterns when you're playing and see where their weaknesses are and use these to your advantage. But remember, when you're nervous, when things are tight, when things are close, you stick with your default top spin, especially at the start of a match. Groove in, get feeling it. When you feel confident, those are the times that you're going to start bringing in these elements. And again, you win so many free points by doing this as you gain confidence. But remember, like anything, don't start trying these if you've never practiced these or you've done them a couple of times. You want to make sure that you can do these at least 7 out of 10 times, that you've got really good at these so that you're confident, yeah, I know I can make these at the vast majority of times. Otherwise, you're going to give away free points. We don't want to do that on our serves. Okay, go out there, practice them, master them, and you're going to see a massive change in winning points, games, and matches.